Okay, let's go from that to my way too early top 25. I'm going to add my usual caveats here. We do it. It's fun. It's what I think. It might be right, but this is the best I got, and I got some points to raise about each of them, or each one of these things you can read over at foxsports.com right now if you would like, and go from there. As it is, I'm going to focus on just a few teams here, and we're going to start at the top and work our way down. We said a bunch about Georgia. Feels like they're the number one seed or number one team, period, right? They ought to be unanimous across all polls. Number 2, I have Michigan. Now, I had put this top 25 together just before kickoff. Matter of fact, producer Tyler and my editor, Bob Harkins over at foxsports.com would be like, yo, dog, can we have this yet? I'm like, I'm still thinking about it. So I put Michigan at 2 after Blake Corum had announced he's returning. All right. I felt good about that until 65-7. I still feel good about it based on what Michigan was able to do the last 2 years, and not just against Texas Christian, or what they didn't do against Texas Christian. But you're going to have Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards with J.J. McCarthy. You're going to have speed on the outside, and you're still going to be able to roll out those outstanding offensive linemen and try to control tempo as Jesse Minter figures out what went wrong against Texas Christian and fix it for that Wolverine defense. Now, Jim Harbaugh sent I'm still committed tweet about possible NFL prospects. That calculus might change it as well, right? But I'm also the guy who did not rank Michigan in my top 25 the preseason, right? I did that because Jim Harbaugh had been flirting with the NFL. Both coordinators on both sides of the ball were gone, right? Didn't know if J.J. McCarthy was going to even be the guy, and they didn't know he was going to be the guy until the 3rd game of the season. Didn't know Blake Corum was going to be able to carry the load like Hassan Haskins, or that Donovan Edwards would serve admirably in the same role that Blake Corum had. They were turning over an offensive line. They had moved around their coordinators in such a way that we didn't even know who was calling the plays at Michigan, and none of it mattered. All of it thrown out the window. The dudes do what I always want the dudes to do, which is to go play football. We want to say who's good and who's bad, even when they lose. And yet Michigan said, no, we're actually pretty damn good, and we're going to go show it. So this year, the hell with it. They're pretty damn good. And I think based on what they had done, beating Ohio State, winning the Big Ten championship, making the college football playoff for the 2nd year in a row, they deserve this number 2 spot. Number 3, I got Ohio State. Yes, absolutely. Especially after what they did to what we know as Colossus in college football. Again, they are a missed field goal away from beating the team that we're talking about being dynastic now. That was 9 days ago. We're talking about perhaps being a fake punt timeout away from Ohio State being in this game and not Georgia. That's a good football team. I don't care that C.J. Stroud's going to the NFL draft. Kyle McCord and Marvin Harrison Jr. played at St. Joe's together in Philly. Yeah, you're going to have that tandem to deal with if Devin Brown doesn't go and beat Kyle McCord out for the job. But I'm going to hedge right now and say Kyle McCord probably has some sort of connection with the best returning wide receiver in the sport, and that might matter. It's just about whether or not Jim Knowles' defense can be the kind of defense that Ohio State needs to win national championships. I mean, that was the other question outside of what was Michigan doing against Texas Christian? What was the Ohio State defense doing against Georgia? Because that needs to be sorted out as it does next time that they play the game, which will be in Ann Arbor in 2023. Number 4 on the list, I got USC. They're returning the Heisman winner. It's becoming Lincoln Riley's bag, right? He's going to have the best player in college football. Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts. Now it's Caleb Williams. For USC, it's the same question that Lincoln Riley had at Oklahoma, which is to say, can you put a defense out there that can help you win a conference championship or a national championship? Can you do that? Because the thing about Alex Grinch's defense isn't that they get a bunch of takeaways or that they get a bunch of sacks. It's that it's feast or famine. Either they go get turnovers and tackles for loss, or they get beat over their head deep or run through. You can't continue to do that and win at the highest levels of the sport. You can win 11, 12 games every year because that's what Lincoln Riley has done. But when it comes to playing for championships, you might come up a little bit short. If they can get that fixed in what I think is going to be the most competitive Pac-12 since it expanded to 12 teams, yeah, they got a shot. But the Pac-12, man, it is loaded this year. As a matter of fact, I was doing the math today. You got Caleb Williams at SC, 5-star Dante Moore at UCLA, Notre Dame transfer Drew Pine down there at Arizona State. Jaden DeLauro is pretty damn good, slept on at Arizona. You can go all the way up to Michael Penix Jr. and Washington win 11 games last year, or I should say in 2022. Bo Nix at Oregon. DJ Uiagalelei is transferred to Oregon State. Cam Ward still at Washington State. We can keep going here. It's going to be a fun league with the Bad Moon Rising coming back to lead Utah to what it hopes to be a third consecutive Pac-12 championship. Going to be a lot of fun over there. Tennessee at number 5 with Joe Milton doing what he did against Clemson. I feel pretty good about that. Let's jump all the way down on this top 25 to number 21. See that? I thought that you might. I thought you might. So that's Colorado. That's Colorado at 21. Okay? What am I betting on there? I'm betting on prime time. I'm betting on Neon Deion. I'm betting on a man who won the Thorpe Award 1988 with a Jerry curl that didn't quite curl over. I'm betting on a man whose persona is the largest in the sport. We're talking on a Monday night. You know what else happened on Monday night? Earlier today, I should say, Deion Sanders graced the cover of GQ magazine. Has your college football coach graced the cover of GQ magazine? Has he done a photo shoot with GQ? The men's style de jour look fresh too. Did you know he in his 50s? He don't look like he in his 50s. Clean fade, but he's also bringing, as he said, his luggage and his Louis Vuitton. And if we're going to transfer that to college football terms, that is Shedeur Sanders, FCS Freshman of the Year, won back-to-back SWAC titles, right? 26-5 over there on that team. Last couple of years, they lost all of, I believe it's 3 games with him at quarterback. Goodness me. You're also talking about the number 1 player in the 2022 class who chose Jackson State is transferring with prime time to Boulder, Colorado. All right, Travis Hunter. Gonna go both ways. Went both ways, Jackson State. That man showed up to be coached by Neon Deion, Coach prime time. You're gonna get all of that in the Pac-12. So excited about it. Hired some outstanding hitters on offense and defense. Charles Kelly coming from Alabama, gonna coach defense. Right? You gonna wait and see? Wait and see. We're gonna bet on him being able to do what Lincoln Riley was able to do too. Go into the portal, pull out who you need, go build a program that can win right away. Y'all about to get prime experience over there, baby. You about to get lots of babies. You guys about to get lots of plethoras. You about to get video cameras all over the school. Gonna have some specs in that though. Love that. All right. Number 23 on the list here. Texas. It's Quinn Ewers versus Arch Manning, but it's really about when does Arch Manning become the starting quarterback at Texas. I don't know that it happens in 23. I wouldn't necessarily want it to happen in 23. You got another year of Quinn Ewers. He's still growing. You had to treat him like a true freshman this year, and you saw as he continued to play, teams started to figure him out. You could see the arm talent. You could see that he's got the tools, but Steve Sarkisian is still teaching him the game. Now you're going to bring in the number 1 quarterback after bringing in the number 1 quarterback into your QB room in Arch Manning and all that entertains. That means Peyton, Eli, and Granddaddy Archie, along with Cupper and his mama. You're bringing all that to the 40 acres. You're going to have lots of Longhorn fans going, when are we going to get to see Arch? Because the only player that fans love more than a starting quarterback is the dude playing behind the starting quarterback. Everybody wanted to see who was going to be the dude to replace the dude after it didn't look like he was the dude no more. We'll see. I'm excited to see what they do to try to replace Bijan Robinson, but that core, that wide receiving core, I still think it's going to be pretty good. I think Pete Kwiatkowski's defense was figuring it out this year. They're going to take another step in 23 in what is going to be the largest Big 12 conference since its inception, because quiet as it's kept, Oklahoma, Texas, Baylor, Kansas State, Texas Christian. They also got to contend with Cincy, Houston, BYU, and Central Florida now, in addition to the doormat. Ain't no doormat anymore. That is Kansas at number 25. They want to smoke. Now, everybody sees Lance Leipold and the Jayhawks coming now. But now if you beat them, you're going to have to bloody your nose to do it. Very excited to see what they are capable of in 23. Talk more about these 25 teams throughout this offseason. But this has been a fantastic 2022. I'm already, as you can very well see, excited for 2023. What's spring football going to hold? What's the next national signing day going to hold in February? What are we going to think when guys go back into the transfer portal and out? We have so much to discuss on that, along with coaching changes. Man, thank you for watching the #1 college football show. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and like this video so that you don't miss any of the best college football coverage in America.